Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Triple B. And this is the Broken Bitter Black Man, here where everybody is broken and bitter. And there are only two groups of people. There are those of us that know that we broken and bitter and have started the healing process. And there are those of us just walking around thinking that this is all normal. And it ain't normal. This can't be normal. We got Crackheads, son.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
We got assassins running through the city. I mean, if this isn't a clear indication of we all are merely players and the world is a stage, because this can't be real. It's almost like we in a world of Grand Theft Auto. Y'all look at this.
Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start with the day's momentous news. President Joe Biden, remember him, he is the leader of the free world. Well, he's actually going to do something presidential, not for the country, but for his family. He's going to pardon his crack-addled whore.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Enthusiast son Hunter. But weren't we told over and over again that that would never happen?
I like how she refers to him as his crackhead.
Be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
Old son.
Presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no. I just answered. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Not any possibility. Not any possibility. She was clear on that.
Not any possibility. This is what this woman said countless times. And they got the video footage of this woman saying, no, he's not going to do it. No, he's not going to do it. No, he's not going to do it.
As I said, over and over again.
Second one, would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear and I said no.
I'm starting to think that the Biden White House has been lying to us.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute the sentence for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying it would not.
It's still a no. It's still a no.
It's still a no. Still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
Now, wait a minute. You are the White House press secretary. I mean, you are pretty much the go-between from the media to the president. So that means it comes from the president's mouth directly to you, and then you deliver it directly to the media. So was he lying to you too, or was you just lying to us and he had a whole nother plan? Because where's the breakdown in communication? That's what we all trying to figure out.
Oh dear. And Joe Biden himself ruled out a pardon for Hunter.
But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Okay. So now we got it directly from the horse's mouth that this man is not going to pardon his crackhead son.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Did I mention that the president's son was a crackhead?
Be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
Yep, he ruled it out. You couldn't get any clearer than that. But then this happened today.
US President Joe Biden has pardoned his son's criminal convictions.
Now, they've been lying to us. But, I mean, is that really too far-fetched to believe? I mean, it just seems like the president-elect, anybody running can say whatever the hell they want to say. And They don't have to mean any of it. They don't have to back any of it up. They can change their mind later. They're politicians. This is what politicians do. Now, that is the normal part. They're going to lie. The not so normal part is you thinking that they owe you an apology for the lie. Look at it.
Back here to domestic politics, we do wonder where the apology is to the American people for the lie that we were given for the better part of a year. Will you pardon Hunter Biden, Joe Biden? That question also asked to Karine Jean-Pierre. Of course, we were told the answer was no. He would not. Never. And now we've seen that pardon. So Karine Jean-Pierre is now being asked whether or not they owe the American people an apology.
He thought about it, and he weighed. It was not an easy decision to come to, and he put out a comprehensive statement. And I would certainly,
Notice how she can't even look at the audience. She can't even look at the cameras. She got to put her head down. No eye contact. She was proud to say, no, he's not going to pardon his son. No, he's not going to pardon his son. She looking you dead in your eye and you're lying to you. Does that mean when they can't look you in the face, they telling the truth?
offer that up to folks out there who are wondering. I would say please read the president's
right
response to this in full.
I'm sure my colleagues said a few thoughts, just very specifically.
It's not only colleagues who watch this. There's also the American people.
Exactly.
So to be fair,
and they were told by you in July that this would not happen, and it did. I'm saying, asking for yourself, not the president, but for yourself. Do you feel like you are owed an apology by the president?
I mean, he told you too, right? He told you the same lie that he told us. Wouldn't you want an apology? Do you think you deserve an apology? I mean, you work with him.
Owe an apology to the American people.
See, I just laid out the president's thinking. The president laid it out himself in his own words. He did. He laid out how he wrestled with this decision. He said in his statement.
Well, whose words was it when you were coming out here telling us that he wasn't going to do it? Was those his words too? Do we believe his words then, now, in the future? I mean, I know he about to go bye-bye, but hey, where does the truth come out? After it's done happening?
As a president, as a father, he talked about how difficult it was to make this decision.
You know, what's infuriating,
See how everybody goes, They
don't even acknowledge reality, which is probably a pretty good tactic if, you're just trying to control the news. The problem for them, though, is at some point it just becomes delusional. She's delusional when she refuses to acknowledge the clear reality of all of her denials.
Yeah, this, if you look at the timing again, 2000 and the date that he starts the pardon from, it's very clear. This isn't about pardoning Hunter. It's about pardoning Joe Biden. It's about pardoning Jill Biden, who also participated in terms of enjoying the largesse that was made from abroad, from our China, Ukraine, and Russia. It includes the grandkids who there were offshore. Remember the offshore accounts that were put in the grandkids' names? So the entire Biden scheme to
the entire Biden scheme. So you telling me that this man had his son put accounts in the grandkids' names, was stealing money? Well, not stealing. They were basically embezzling or just giving them money from the Ukraine. This man was setting up all kind of offshore accounts, did all kind of illegal activities, and they didn't say just for the 4 years that Biden was in president. They said for 11 years, going back to when he was vice president. So why do you need to pardon somebody for all of that time? You wasn't even president then. So were you doing illegal activities with Obama? Did Obama know about your illegal activities? If that was the case, well, why Obama didn't pardon your son then? Was the plan for you to keep doing illegal activities, allegedly steal the election, let your son do 4 more years of illegal activities, and then pardon him? And then pardon him all the way back to the time that you was vice president. And that way, he can't snitch on you. He can't testify on you. Can't nobody else in the family testify. Don't nobody else all the accounts set up for the grandkids, that doesn't come into play. Anything that was on that laptop doesn't come into play. You smoking crack.
Be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
And hiring hookers don't come into play. I wonder what else you did, man. Seems like all you got to do is be the president's kid. You can steal the world and just get pardoned from your daddy.
Sell out the country and make money off of Joe Biden's position as vice president. That's what this was about. This was not some selfless father looking out for his crackhead son.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
This was.
I like how they said his crackhead son.
Be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
About pardoning the entire family racket and everyone involved in it. And
by the way, we're not done.
No.
I mean, the pardons to come will in themselves, I believe, be an admission.
Yeah.
It won't just be. We'll see. Yeah. I mean,
and honestly, if
Biden,
I were a betting man, I would bet that Joe Biden pardons himself before.
Now the man got to pardon himself. I mean, Sleepy Joe probably just fall asleep in any kind of trial or hearing that they gonna do anyway. And we pretty much know that he on his way out, so we ain't gonna hold him to accountability for anything. So we just go on and let the president and his crackhead son.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Just do whatever they want. But Donald Trump is the bad guy. Some kind of way they gonna spin this and put it on Trump. It's Trump's fault. That's what it is. Crooked stuff, crooked stuff, crooked stuff. Now, we gotta check in with the ladies from The View. I mean, they so fun to watch nowadays. I'm sure they got something to say about Hunter Biden. Let's look at this.
I know a lot of this conversation about President Biden getting criticized from both sides of the aisle for pardoning his son Hunter after repeatedly saying he would never do it. And a lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, etc., as if the other side doesn't.
To say you not going to do something and then do it is hypocritical. That's kind of the very definition of being a hypocrite. Or is it just do as I say and not as I do? Is that what he was going for? Let me know. I don't know. Just let me help me out, you liberals.
Do it. But what's your reaction to it?
I mean, I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him.
Now, this is the only part because, I'm watching this in real time. So, Democrats hold themselves to a high moral standard, but they want to unalive babies and let men be women and women be men. And where's the morals in that? I'm sorry, I'm off topic.
him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, oh, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Now, she got to stop you for a second. What you gonna say?
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think?
We don't know it was a lie. The man told us one thing and did something different. What is the damn definition of a lie, Whoopi? Was it just our imagination? Was it a glitch in the matrix?
Oh, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
Really, Whoopi? You think Joe Biden got tired of watching everybody else get over while he's getting over?
This is just my feeling, because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Listen,
they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors is saying. He don't have to do that.
So we're mad at him because he changed his.
Oh no! By the way, I'm not mad at him.
Nobody said we was mad. We just pointing the finger and saying, there go the bad guy.
But you sound like you're
No.
If I can get in on this, I actually think it went further, and this is one thing we really disagree on. Joe Biden made a point of saying we stand by our institutions
I
and the
understand all that.
impartiality of the Department of Justice. Democrats ran on that. The same DOJ indicted Hunter Biden. How we shouldn't be saying it's corrupt like Donald Trump does. But then in his statement pardoning Hunter Biden, he says that it was a political pursuit by his own Department of Justice.
Can you explain to me why it is that when Joe Biden does something, everybody clutches their pearls? He's wrong.
Nobody
he lied.
has criticized Donald Trump more than me or Charlamagne God.
I'm sorry. Yeah, people have criticized him more. I've criticized him more. We've all criticized him more. But you're missing my question. Okay. My question is, what is it that makes people flip out with Joe, but we don't have the same kind of thing?
Well, I don't think people are flipping out with Joe. I think Democrats are flipping out with Joe because Democrats believe that they don't represent what he's currently representing. But that's just not true. That's why I say they stand on this moral high ground that simply does not exist. And I think this is also the problem when we pick sides, right? We've turned political parties into teams. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Ain't nobody more delusional than me, right? Okay? I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl every year, but I'm not delusional. Well, no, that is delusional. But when it comes, but when it comes,
that's not delusional. We going to the Super Bowl every year. It just sometimes don't happen.
The political parties, if you pick a side, right, if you say you're a Democrat, if you say you're a Republican, you refuse to be objective about anything.
That's why I'm an independent.
Yes, but
I think that's the best way to go.
But that's not a monolith. We're not, Democrats are not a monolith.
But why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong?
I'll tell you when Democrats are
wrong. So you don't think Joe
Biden
is wrong?
No, I don't. And can I just point this out to you? The president has a pardon power,
you're ridiculous.
Right?
I didn't say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg. I would never. I said that. I just think that's
think about
Come
it.
over and give
Just
me a
think about
kiss.
it this way.
Ran over there and give Mammy a kiss because you done upset her. You done offended your Mammy. Now, take your sassy ass over there and give her a kiss. Here's my take. I think that crackhead walked off in to Joe Biden's house on Thanksgiving and did that little gator dance and walked right on up to him like Gator in Jungle Fever and said, "Mama, this dance is for you," and walked up to Joe Biden and said, "Hey, if your ass don't pardon me, I'm telling everything." You think that was the only laptop I got? I got shit backed up on micro dots, external hard drives, internal hard drives. I'll email this shit to Elon Musk right now. Joe woke up, was like, "Hey, I'm gonna pardon you." Oh, boy, I tell you. If this is not a clear indication of we broken and we have normalized crackheads. Who the hell is still smoking crack in 2024?
You know what that does to you? Huh?
No, sir.
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
2023, in this decade, in this millennium, like you know how little you have to care about your life to be smoking crack at this point or still smoking crack?
Be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
John Wick has assassinated the CEO of United Healthcare. This man basically unalived somebody in broad daylight.
In broad daylight.
Rock the block, baby.
On the street, jumped on a bike, and went to the park. And that's normal. This man tried to stay fully covered as much as possible. Knew exactly where this CEO was going to be and that his security was not going to be with him. Was able to kill him with witnesses. I mean, hell, this straight out of New Jack City right here. Keisha ran up on him, put the gun to his head, unalived him, and said, "Rockabye, baby."
In broad daylight.
Rock the block, baby.
And we think it's normal.
Chris Cuomo here. Got to roll up the sleeves. Welcome to News Nation. We have new information about the murder of the United Health CEO. The biggest question right now is, to me, not where is the killer? We'll get to that, of course. It's a manhunt. Got to find him. But whether the assassination of Brian Thompson is a one-off or only...
Look how calm that man is looking. He ain't fidgeting. He ain't nervous where he's erratic with the gun. He seems calm. He's walking as he's still shooting this man as if this ain't the first time he's done this.
The beginning. We have an insider with some outsized concerns about what may happen next. Why? Well, is this the fruit of the poisonous tree of all this talk about anti-establishment and anti-corporations? Maybe. We'll discuss that. But here's what we know about the state of the investigation. Was the killer a New Yorker? Seems no. He arrived in New York City some 10 days before the assassination by bus. Bus is smart. Why? Less detected. Less cameras. Not none, but less. Okay? Different class of travelers. The bus originated in Atlanta. So did he get on there? No. The suspect boarded at some stop between there and New York City. Where? Critical.
There was a woman standing right there. He didn't flinch. He didn't care. She saw him pull out a gun, aim it, and she did what she was supposed to do. She took off running. But the fact that he didn't even care.
3 rounds hit Thompson. 3 shell casings, the back part of the bullet, were recovered. It was not one shell with 3 words written on it, as you keep seeing. It was one word on each of the 3 shells written in a Sharpie. Deny, defend, depose. Okay? What does that mean? It's a well-known crisis management protocol. Specifically, in the insurance world, it's about being challenged about billing or payouts. Deny the allegation, defend what you did, which also means in part not just protecting yourself, but creating process that can be expensive and lengthy. And part of that process is to depose. Sit down the opponent and grill them and try to short circuit their claims. This is one of several unsavory aspects of that business. Goes with common complaints about how insurance companies want you to pay them immediately or they'll come after your credit, but they delay anything out of their own pockets. Slow walking claims, dragging out litigation. But as we will discuss in a moment, none of that justifies this.
Now, yeah, I've got all the backstory of the actual unaliving that took place. And again, we're not focused on what took place because that ain't got nothing to do with the broken and bitterness of America. You know what has to do with the broken and bitterness of America is the fact that people were celebrating this man's unaliving. People were in a state of happiness because somebody lost their life, because somebody's dad lost their life, because somebody's husband, now rumor has it they wasn't living in the same house, but they were still legally married. So somebody's husband lost their life. And people were celebrating like that's normal. Not only that, we see it. We got the video. They play it over and over and over again on the news of somebody being unalive. And we think it's normal. They have desensitized us to where we can now show people being unalive on the news. Before it was implied, before you had to go to the internet to see it. Now we just, hey, this what happened. And we'll blur out a little bit of it, but you're still showing this man's unaliving over and over again to where now this man's kids is going to grow up and basically always have access to the unaliving of their father. I don't know how I feel about that. That's a little different than your mama being a bust down on a sex tape. This is the actual moment where your father is no longer with us. And you have to not only see it on the news, you have to listen to people celebrate it.
There are a lot of people who are happy about this. Yes, hiding in the nice anonymous dumpster fire that is Twitter. But show these tweets celebrating his death. Even people who call themselves journalists. Ken Klippenstein and Taylor Lorenz tweeting about how bad a man he was the day he died. People had similar tweets wishing Trump had been killed as well. All right, well, I guess that's par for the course these days, but don't these people understand? Won't someone in their life, if these are their real names, explain to them? You are worse than what you oppose.
Worse than what you oppose. All you people out there talking about how bad Trump is, but doing it in negative ways, cutting people off. Now you people are celebrating people's deaths. And you thinking this is normal. What is wrong with y'all?
You celebrate murder as a justifiable end for disagreement over policy. I mean, what the hell is going wrong here?
A very different reaction from some on the internet. Just take a look at some of these comments found under a CNN video about this story online. These are just a few among dozens of hateful comments that we...
How do you tweet something like this and then put it out there for the world to see and then be mad when somebody do something to you, karma got a way of coming back on everybody. And when you put that energy out there, it's coming back.
A CNN story that was just published about this, they note that a Facebook post that was put up by United Health Group expressing sadness about the CEO's death, it received 62,000 reactions. 57,000 of them were laughing emojis.
I mean, 62,000 posts, 57,000 people laughing at this man, laughing at this man's family. But he's rich. He got money. It's okay. Is it? Is it the more money you have, the less sympathy people gonna feel for you? Because you struggling and won't get off of your ass and do something. It's okay to laugh at somebody's pain. And that's okay. These people not being blocked on social media. These people ain't being fired from their job. But they can get on social media, laugh at somebody for being unalive while their family is going through it, and it be cool. But then you make a joke about them letters, or you say something negative about a black woman, or you say something negative about a woman, period, and it's World War III. But laughing at somebody being unalive, that's perfectly fine. It ain't over. They got plenty more people talking about this dude.
The persona that this individual has taken on, and it has been remarkable, unsettling to watch the public response to what has happened here, and just the kind of caustic reaction to a father, to a human being.
A part of the social media response, I mean, I think, outside of social media, maybe everyone sort of just sees this as a cold-blooded murder. Look, if your tweet starts with, assassination is bad, but you might want to rethink that tweet, right? I mean, in other words, and if your important social policy mission to change healthcare can only get traction because of an assassination, you might want to rethink your political strategy. I am as liberal as the next person, and I find this horrifying because if we are a society who thinks that we can get progressive change only through highlighting, no one quite says it, but essentially highlighting that there might be a reason for the assassination that isn't somehow justified. We are no longer a civilized society. I really believe that. I feel quite strongly on it. And people.
We are no longer a civilized society. Now, somebody got to point out, when were we ever a civilized society, right? Because, I mean, America is great, right? And we can't make America great again, because don't do that. What about if we say, let's make America civilized again? Is that, can I put that on the hat? Is that okay? Can we all be civilized? Please? Then what? Here we go.
Well, we never know exactly how quickly these things are going to move. All morning I've been in Central Park as these dive teams have been doing everything they can to find what I was told was the weapon because they couldn't track it down. Now investigators and NYPD police sources here is telling Fox News that they believe they found a man who matches that same description of the gunman who killed that CEO in Midtown Manhattan. They found him at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Okay, that's like a
This man pulls off what some would say the perfect unaliving crime, whatever, and gets caught at McDonald's. Somebody recognizes him from a photo of this man's face that's like right here. And a worker at McDonald's. First of all, what he doing at McDonald's? Like, was he happy that the McRib was back? What is he doing eating at McDonald's? I mean, supposedly this man is a Ivy League graduate, valedictorian of his high school, an engineer, probably one of the smartest of the smarts. He went to private school, so he come from money. And if he come from money, he ain't worried about insurance claims getting denied. Unless the money got all ate up because the insurance claims got denied. But McDonald's? This man gets caught at McDonald's? Yep. I don't know what it's going to take for civilization to become more civilized. But if a crackhead...
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
Son of the president and a CEO being unalived in broad daylight.
In broad daylight.
Rock the block, baby.
And people reacting to the wrong thing. Not the fact that this man is a crackhead. Y'all worried about the fact that he got pardoned and all the secrets and everything else that is tied with it. Man, once you start smoking crack, it ain't no getting off of crack. It ain't no just saying I'm clean now. You can stop smoking crack and possibly have the willpower to say I'm not going to smoke crack again. But for the most part, people who have regularly smoked crack will always crave crack.
Be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
Can relapse at any moment. And that's cool. That's normal. The CEO of a major Fortune 500 company, hell, I think they in the top 10, can be unalived in broad daylight with witnesses around. Nobody do anything but laugh. Have contests have lookalike contests of the assassin. That's normal. What makes y'all think this is okay? If this ain't a clear indication that we all broken and bitter over the wrong stuff, just broken and bitter and not healing, period. Y'all, if we want better, we got to do better. Triple B. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Broken Bitter Black Man. Follow me on Facebook, Bitter Black Man. Follow me on X, Broken Black Man. Till next time.